brave enough to be bad at something. For a long time, I avoided anything I was not immediately good at. If I could not do it well, I did not want to do it at all. I told myself I just had high standards, that I valued excellence, that I did not want to waste time on something I was not naturally good at. But if I'm being honest, it was not about standards. It was about fear, fear of looking foolish, fear of failing, fear of being seen as less than capable. So I stayed where I felt comfortable. And in doing that, I stayed exactly where I was. Perfection keeps you stuck. We often believe that being good at something is where the value is. But being good is not where growth begins. Growth begins at the starting point, at the awkward stage, the uncomfortable stage, the stage where you do not know what you are doing. And that is the stage most people avoid because it requires vulnerability. I had to let myself be a beginner. There came a point where I realized that avoiding things I was not good at was costing me more than failing ever could. I was missing opportunities, avoiding experiences, limiting my growth, all because I did not want to feel uncomfortable. So I made a different choice. I allowed myself to be a beginner, not perfect, not polished, not impressive, just willing. And that shift changed everything. Being bad is part of becoming good. No one starts out great. Every skill, every talent, every area of growth begins with not knowing, with mistakes, with trial and error, with moments of frustration. And that is not failure. That is the process. When you remove the expectation of being good right away, you give yourself space to learn, to improve, to evolve. Your ego wants you to stay comfortable. The part of you that resists trying something new is often trying to protect you from embarrassment, from judgment, from discomfort. But it is also the part that keeps you small because growth requires you to step outside of what you already know. And that means risking not being good at something, at least for a while. Confidence is built through doing. We often think confidence comes first, that once we feel confident, we will take action. But it works the other way around. Confidence is built through action, through trying, through learning, through showing up even when you feel unsure. And every time you do, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. You are allowed to learn publicly. Not everything you do has to be polished. Not everything has to be perfect before it is seen. You are allowed to grow in real time, to try things, to adjust, to improve as you go. That is how real growth happens, not behind perfection, but through practice. What you avoid holds you back. Take a moment and think about something you have been wanting to try, something that interests you but also intimidates you. Now ask yourself why you have not started. Chances are it has something to do with not wanting to be bad at it. And that hesitation is the very thing standing between you and your growth. Progress matters more than perfection. Being bad at something does not mean you will always be bad at it. It means you are in the early stages. And every step you take from there is progress. Small improvements, small wins, small moments of learning. Those add up. And over time, what once felt impossible becomes familiar. Give yourself permission to try. You do not have to master everything. You do not have to be the best. You just have to be willing to try, willing to learn, willing to be imperfect, because that willingness is where growth begins. And that growth is what creates confidence, resilience, and the expansion in your life. Start before you feel ready. You will never feel completely ready. There will always be a reason to wait, a reason to hesitate, a reason to stay where you are. But if you are willing to start anyway, even in a small way, you open the door to something new, something that could change you, something that could grow you, something that could become part of who you are, all because you were brave enough to be bad at something. Slay reflection. S. See the fear. What is something you have been avoiding because you are not good at it? L. Look at why. What fear is holding you back from trying? A. Allow the process. Can you give yourself permission to be a beginner? Why? Your next step. What is one small step you can take today toward something new? Call to action. Join the conversation. I'd love to hear from you. What is something you have been wanting to try but have been afraid of being bad at? Share your story in the comments. Let's cheer each other on. And if you know someone who might need this reminder, send this to them. Sometimes all we need is a nudge. I'm Carrie Genzel, reading a blog from stateofslay.com. Slay on.